Slick-aff, 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 slick-aff.
Dean Richardson raises Black Angus cattle on his farm only 5 miles from the parkway. These rolling pastures have been in his family for over a century. Dean's a retired park ranger and loves to talk about it. Being a ranger was a childhood ambition.
And in the 40s, when I was in high school, Granville Lyles was a park ranger. He was tall, nice-looking fella. And one day I was sitting in the barber shop, and Granville came in. He was driving that little black patrol car with a little pickup bed on the back, big antenna, had on that broad brim felt hat, that big green blouse. And I was sitting there in the barber shop watching him, and I said, that's what I want to be, a park ranger.
In time, he got a uniform of his own. First as a seasonal ranger, and then full-time. One thing he soon discovered was that the uniform looked much better than it felt.
This was the first type of blouse the Rangers used. They had the badge down in the pocket, said U.S. Park Ranger.
Heavy-duty wool topped off with a broad-brim beaver hat.
You would stand out there on a hot summer day with that 19-ounce all-wool elastic pants, that shirt and tie, and this heavy Stetson, and the sweat would come streaming down in his collar. And
Ranger cars were hot too.
This car here is a 41 Ford, and on the back we had a little pickup bed right there because they wouldn't let us buy sedans for patrolling, and so the Park Service had the factory to weld a little bed on the back with a little tailgate, and they called it a coupe pickup. This curve we're approaching now, one night, Cliff Pendry, a ranger that I work with, and Clay Caudle, we were working and expecting a load of liquor to come through. And right here in this curve, they call this the Bullhead Curve, right here at Mahogany Rock Crossing, we met this car and stopped him there. He had on 80 gallons of liquor.
It was foggy the day we drove the parkway, but Dean had seen worse.
Well, I'll tell you how foggy it gets. We're talking foggy.
Yeah.
One night, between between Mountain Park and Deep Gap, 2 cars sideswiped each other, and they reported to us, and it was so foggy that they never did find each other.
While stationed at the Cone Mansion, Dean met someone else who loved the uniform. He married Betty later on. Ah, yes, the romance of being a ranger still holds many a fond memory for the couple.
On February the 4th, when I turned my badge and all my equipment over to the ranger that was in charge, he took my keys, and I called my wife to tell her to come and pick me up. You know, I was through. I couldn't say anything. You know, when she answered the phone, you know, I couldn't say anything. Then I had to call her back and tell her, come and pick me up.
That was back in '84. Since, Dean stayed busy with the farm. But from his pasture, he can see the ridge where the parkway runs. And I'm sure he often looks longingly that way, still patrolling it with memories.